Hey, it's Brittany with Mountain TV, and we have our weekly CAIC Avalanche Safety Report. We've got the wonderful Brian here, and we have a lot to talk about because the wind is gusting and moving a lot of snow around, especially in the backcountry. And you're going to tell us a little bit about what to look out for. So the floor is yours. Let's hear all about it, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having us back. And yes, things have changed quite a bit. Our long dry period, which coincided with a long period of low danger, are gone. You don't expect to see low danger in the backcountry for the foreseeable future. That's because we did get fresh snow, and like you mentioned, we got the wind. So that's great for recreation. It's great for our snowpack, but it does come with an increase in avalanche danger. So it's important that people change their mindset as we head into this holiday weekend. These images show what the wind did. So we got little bits of new snow. Some places got, up to a foot or even more. And that wind really was something else. And it did some damage and created these stiffer wind drifted slabs, which was sitting over all of that weak snow that we talked about last week, which formed during our drought period. So that led to an uptick in avalanche danger. And you can see obvious signs of wind loading, and these kind of fat, smooth, sculpted surfaces are the ones that are really going to be the most dangerous. You can see here, we've highlighted some wind-loaded slopes. These are the places where you're most likely to trigger avalanche. This is going to be the same pattern as we move into the weekend, but it's going to get even trickier because we're going to get more snow. So those wind-loaded slopes and those hard drifts are going to be harder to identify, which means people just need to have a wider buffer as they're moving around and underneath avalanche terrain. We will still have obvious signs of instability with new snow that fell on Wednesday night and another pulse that's coming late on Friday and into Saturday. And when you start to see conditions like this, you know you are in for dangerous avalanche conditions. This weekend, it's really important to note that this new snowfall, which is coming, and here's what it looks like. Here you can see this pulse that comes through on Wednesday night. That led to an uptick in avalanche danger, but that wasn't the end of the story. So after a brief lull on Friday here, we get another pulse late on Friday and into Saturday, and you can see we exceed a foot of storm snow in many places. That is going to lead to an uptick in avalanche danger, including potentially avalanche watches and warnings. We have a statewide special avalanche advisory in place, warning of dangerous conditions developing this weekend. It's, again, the return of snowfall is very welcome news, but it's important for people to know that the most dangerous avalanche conditions are going to coincide with the middle of this holiday weekend. And that's always a really nervous recipe for us as avalanche forecasters, because it's when we see avalanche accidents. So do not make backcountry travel plans based on where you've been going during our drought period over the last few weeks. It's a whole new ballgame out there this weekend. It's going to be a dangerous weekend. Avoid the backcountry in places that have got avalanche watches and warnings in place, and even places that fall short of high danger or avalanche warning criteria are still going to be dangerous. So we need people to give slopes steeper than about 30 degrees a pretty wide buffer as they move pretty cautiously through the backcountry this weekend.
I need 3 top tips if you find yourself in that situation this week and where you happen to be somewhere you don't want to be. What are your 3 top tips?
Yeah, is one, make a travel plan before you even consider going into the backcountry, and then stick with your plan. People often get into trouble and they make changes in the field or on the fly because something looks attractive. If you're going to the ski areas to enjoy all this fresh snow, it's important to note it is very, very different inside ski area boundaries where people are doing a lot of work to reduce the risk of avalanches for you. And immediately on the other side of that rope, it is backcountry avalanche conditions. So even though you can see the road or see the chairlift or something like that, you are still in the backcountry. So even though all that fresh powder might look very alluring on the other side of the rope, you have to know that no one is doing anything to mitigate the avalanche risk for you. So make a plan, stick with it. Do not cross rope lines or enter into closed terrain without a really serious travel plan.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for the insight. As always, Brian, we will see you next week for some more info. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a safe weekend as well.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next week.